Hi, I'm Mitch, the Hardware and Homewares Manager at Australian Hardware from the Wollongong store. I've been tasked with designing a new performance appraisal system and providing a small training session on it. Now, some of you will be aware that a review of general employee performance has fallen behind targets, and there's areas of concern around sales, revenue and customer satisfaction. All of these areas are critical to our business. Looking at the results, current performance management or performance appraisal system, employees have complained about the lack of apparent management commitment to training and advancement, the lack of meaningful rewards and recognition, and the lack of management presence and ongoing feedback on work performance. Now, a large proportion of employees, approximately 45%, have also said they always or often feel disengaged from work, and their sense of self-confidence and optimism is low. Now, this is, quite bad for Australian hardware. It risks to us not being able to attract or retain new staff members or enact a succession plan if these trends continue. Now, I'll give a quick refresher of the existing performance system that we have in place. The current performance appraisals are conducted on a 6-monthly basis, so in July or early August, and the reviews conducted in January or February. So the whole part of this, the current performance appraisal, is to set performance goals and tell employees this is what we want you to achieve, this is how you're going to achieve it, and then we'll review them to that. The current policy aims to ensure that employee development opportunities are recognised and implemented throughout this process, ensure consistent employee development practices, and employees develop systematically on a basis of defined needs, and that development undertaken is cost effective and meets agreed standard. Now, heading the roles and responsibilities of the current system, so managers will carry out the biannual formal performance review discussions. They'll monitor performance throughout the year, recording key events, observations and importance. Refer to these performance management guidelines when carrying out tasks related to performance management, such as goal setting, KPI setting, allocating work, and work plan development. Consult with employees for input on goals and KPIs. Use the performance management documentation to record formal and informal performance reviews. Provide employees with the opportunity to participate and contribute to their professional and personal development. Now, so it carries on like this, and the current policy talks about some goal setting and work planning, how to set goals, talks about the annual discussion, what the outcome of that is, the documentation, the timing, and what the 6-month follow-up discussion is supposed to entail. So I might stop running through that. I'll start running through the sort of updated performance plan and try and talk about what I want to achieve. So with this updated plan, I'm really pushing that the performance appraisal is a positive system for staff. Now, I want to drop the performance management word and have just performance appraisals. So if staff are underperforming, they're managed separately to this system. This performance appraisal gets put on hold, and severe underperformers or misconduct is handled completely separately to this. So what I've done, I've changed the performance appraisal sort of definition, the policy, the roles and responsibilities, and the procedure and how we deal with these performance appraisals, and hopefully this addresses the lackings of our current system. So the formal performance appraisals can still be conducted on a 6-monthly basis. The process will now start in July, and the formal review will be conducted January, early February, same as before. So the outcomes of the performance appraisal in July will finalise the previous financial years, and will also kick off the new performance discussion or the new performance appraisal. So when we're kicking off this new performance appraisal, so it's a discussion based around the new performance targets, work and development goals, and it also gives a chance of two-way feedback between the staff member and the supervisor. The January-February formal review is to assess the progress towards those targets, reassess goals, and another chance again for two-way feedback. The performance appraisals will also provide a formal avenue for employees, for managers and supervisors to discuss issues relating to employees' performance. Although, as I was saying before, this process is not to be used to manage underperforming employees or misconduct. So if the employee is underperforming or has committed serious misconduct, the manager or the supervisor is to identify and immediately act on that behaviour through the separate performance management process. That will be engaging HR or workplace relations depending on the issue. Performance appraisal system to really focus on two-way feedback. So it gives staff, an avenue to give supervisors or managers feedback to say, this is what I need you to be doing, this is what I need you to do to help me develop, and this is what I think of how the business is currently run, this is how I think it should be run in the future to improve. Now, Australian Hardware to me really needs to embrace this feedback, because these staff are the experts at what they do. Us as managers aren't the experts, so if they're telling us they need something to do their job better, we need to work out how we can make that happen so they can do their job better and ultimately make Australian Hardware perform. We need to discuss remuneration and development needs. These development needs and opportunities need to be in line with Australian Hardware's needs and to be focused towards succession planning. But each store manager should have a succession plan in place with key positions picked, with staff that can move into those positions if for some reason another staff member moves on. So these performance appraisals will help develop those staff towards moving into different positions. So for the policy, we really want to add to the purpose of this is we want to develop high performance teams, not just high performance individuals. And we really want to focus on growing individuals to help them build that high performance team. The major changes are that around employee development is to focus on to benefit the business and the employee, not one or the other, and it's also to facilitate succession planning. Now, roles and responsibilities has changed slightly, so I've added in there informal or formal feedback is to be provided to employees at regular intervals throughout the year relating to their performance and development goals. Now, staff have complained of a lack of management presence and ongoing feedback on their work performance. So based on the current systems, we're giving them feedback twice a year. This is clearly not enough. We need to be, throughout the year, picking up on issues. If there are issues, working towards resolving them. If staff are performing well, we're telling them performing well. We're giving them a thank you. Also in the roles and responsibilities, I've added in the performance management guidelines or performance appraisal guidelines, we are having that two-way feedback. So it's not just one-way management down, it's also from the staff level up to management. Also added that we will provide and encourage employees to participate and contribute to their professional and personal development. So we're not just providing the opportunity, we're also putting a little bit more effort in, doing a little bit more research before we start the performance appraisal process and picking out where we feel the staff member needs to develop and encouraging the staff member towards developing. Also do is provide employees with coaching not just through the performance sessions but consistently throughout the year to build them up and help them achieve the development goals and help them achieve the company goals. So if we're putting in that effort and continuously coaching employees throughout the year, that should help us with the areas of concern that senior management have of sales, revenue, and customer satisfaction. The performance review guidelines I've added into goal setting. The development goals should also be discussed and set during the appraisal process, with a focus on developing specific skills of an employee that will assist Australian Hardware's business goals. I'm hoping these changes will help address the complaints that have been raised by staff of the lack of meaningful rewards and recognition. Now, we're not going to introduce a rewards program. What I want to do is see managers and supervisors saying thank you. Not just for doing their job, but for going above and beyond and meeting and exceeding their targets. They've also raised the lack of apparent management commitment to training and advancement. Now, it is up to the business manager to manage the training, but hopefully by encouraging and pushing staff to develop personally and professionally, we can help address that to the lack of apparent commitment. And it will also help us with this staff feeling disengaged from work. So if we're pushing staff to be at their best, perform at their best, that sense of disengagement should go. We should have more staff feeling engaged. Their self-confidence will build, and then that should help us being able to retain current staff, build a succession plan, and also attract new employees when we need to.